Are you getting the throaty? Okay, so we're live.
Are we live?
I hope so.
I think so. Can we check that, or do we just go?
We should check. Okay, hold on. Oh my God, we're professionals. We've done this before. Okay, we don't know what we're doing, but we know what we're doing. Come on, phone. I mean, we just used the countdown thing, right? That was
a new feature for coffee and software. It's a little
to
countdown.
The moon. Looks like we're live.
Okay,
yeah.
Sweet.
Okay,
it's going. Okay, so we went to this pretty cool MCP event,
dude,
last night.
That was
San Francisco.
Off the chain. It was awesome.
So good.
It was.
So we the whole reason for the event is because they're celebrating the MCP specification, and then Agents MD and Goose
from Block.
Joining the Linux Foundation under a new Agentic AI Foundation.
Yeah.
So pretty cool to see that coming together. I wrote a blog post about what AWS has done with MCP, but super great event last night. There was all the Linux Foundation people there, and all the MCP people, and I don't know, like what stood out for me was just how much enthusiasm there is around MCP, and like the fact that like we're kind of building the foundation of this like next era of computing.
Yeah.
And MCP is pretty central to that. So
huge. And for me, first of all, it wasn't like a meetup with some pizza. This was it was a party. It was like a bow and tie.
We got all dressed up.
Kind of affair.
Yeah. It was fancy.
It was in the Regency Ballroom, which is a very nice ballroom with balconies and imagine holding a tech conference at an opera. It was beautiful and huge, and
there was like what 1,500 people there or something.
It gotta be, and literally in the rafters and up high and in the room itself, and then 2 full bars and like huge energy. And there's also security. It was just this very, very big thing in San Francisco on a cold December night.
Yeah.
And your people are shoulder to shoulder, stacked and packed. God, with the energy. I mean, there was so many people excited about this moment.
Yeah.
Yeah. Apparently this was the 3rd one. I haven't been to the other 2. By the way, everything in that room was less than a year old, right? Like MCP, Agents MD,
like just over a year old, and then Goose, and it's just crazy how fast it's all moving. And but now it's cool to being part of the Linux Foundation. I think it really does set it up to be a really foundational piece to the future.
Exactly. And they talked about that, right? This is like, so the Linux Foundation is an incubator. And I think one of them even spoke about how they might have approached the CNCF and that didn't quite feel right. And I think they landed at a really good spot. The Linux Foundation's a neat place for this kind of foundational stuff. And they had that energy.
Yeah. So much good energy.
People
are pumped on what we're doing here.
This kind of reminds. I said it to you yesterday, and I think it's more and more true. The last time I can remember being surprised like that was they invited me. Our friend Hadi invited me to the first Kotlin Conf.
Yeah.
Right in San Francisco, and I was like, well, okay, we've been supporting Kotlin on the Spring Initializer for a while, and then I think at between when he invited me and because it was held in San Francisco, so I was like, well, of course I'll go. It means I can fly home and be home. I can sleep in my bed that night and get paid for it, right? Like I was like, oh, this is a deal. So well, not paid by them, but by a company for you usually have to travel elsewhere, right?
Yeah.
Don't often get a chance to go home. And I was like, oh, that sounds like a win-win. I'll be there, and I love Kotlin, of course. So and in between when I accepted it and when we got there, and you were there too, right? The I guess Google. They didn't recommend it yet, but they endorsed it. They said we support.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't endorse it. They said we support Kotlin.
Yeah.
Right. For Android, and that lit a fire. And so suddenly this little event with little advertising was like teeming. Just same thing. Probably 1,000, 1,500 people at the first event ever.
Yeah.
In a very nice event venue
Yeah.
Here in San Francisco.
It's fun to be part of these moments.
Huge. Where were
really
you?
Exciting and yeah.
So
we can say we were there the night that MCP moved to the Linux Foundation.
And they did liken it. They likened it in no uncertain terms to things like Kubernetes, which were generational, foundational infrastructure, right? Like people have built into empires on top of those YAML files. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it all started with the foundation CNCF back in what is it, 2015, something like that, right? And just really exciting.
Really exciting. So we did a video recently that went through Spring AI 1.1 release and a lot of the MCP updates. And one of the pieces in there is actually in this blog post that I did about MCP joining Linux Foundation, but talks about some of the features that AWS has been working on in MCP. And so when we showed in the Spring AI 1.1 kind of unboxing video we did, my elicitations demo was broken.
Oh, so awkward.
So that was awkward. But in this blog post, I go through like here's a little more background on like why we added elicitations and what it does. And so I want to show like the Java version of what's in this blog post,
which is part of MCP. By the way, the Java binding, the Spring AI team, we're the leads of the Java binding for MCP, the Java SDK for MCP, and this is nothing changes from that perspective. Like it's just I should say that.
So while you are the primary maintainers of the Java SDK for MCP,
not the only ones.
AWS contributed to the MCP specification, the elicitations, but then also contributed and worked with you all on getting it into the Java SDK.
Well, of course, that's what I'm saying. It's been a wonderful collaboration, but this Linux Foundation, nothing changes for you, the users. As I'm trying to say.
Good point. So here's the demo that I want to walk through. Hopefully, we'll see if it works today. You never know.
Stochastic AI.
The point of elicitations is you're going to have a tool. Right, an MCP tool, so something that your LLM can call with some parameters. And there may be a time where you call a tool and then some internal logic within that tool call is like, okay, I need some more information from the user. And this is information that is not always required or always available. So the example that I use in this blog post is, let's say that you're having an AI agent search flights for you, and you go call the search flights tool, and when it calls the search flights tool, maybe then look up the user's profile and see what their preferred airline is. And to do the search, you probably want to know what their preferred airline is. So if they don't have that in their user profile, then you can elicit that back to them, and so you can essentially send a message back to the user and say, hey, what's your preferred airline, and then continue on with your tool call. So that's the use case that I built out with Spring AI to show elicitations. So let me show you the code for this. Is that making sense? The whole like reason why we do elicitations, it's like human in the loop. So I've got my Spring AI MCP server. I'm doing streamable, the new protocol. I do need to use streamable here, not the stateless one, because the elicitations are stateful.
Sure.
And then I'm using the new Bedrock Nova 2 Lite model.
Nice.
And that one's lightweight and fast and all that. I probably actually for this demo I should be using the Pro model or something, because I'm doing something kind of funny. I'll show you in a minute. And then here's an important thing is when you do an elicitation, the time that it takes the user to respond is considered in the request timeout for the MCP call. And so you probably want to like increase that higher so that you don't get a timeout, because you're just like waiting for the user to respond. So I set it to 60 seconds, but there is a default, I think 20 or 30 seconds or something like that on the tool call, and we don't want to hit that timeout. Okay, so that's my MCP server settings. Now this is my MCP server, and there's a few different pieces of this, and I did try to do some like good data modeling around like how we actually search flights and get flight results. I've got a few records here for like a flight segment and a flight search result. And then the thing that we're going to elicit from the user is going to just be like this user profile and the preferred airline. And you'll see I put this JSON property description on there, and we'll see what that gets used in a little bit.
What's over there on the right?
Just more, what's the arrival date of this flight and the airline and that kind of stuff.
Can I get an enter?
Oh yeah, I
Give me a new
like
line.
my long lines there, but that's good. Okay, so this is where I did things a little weird. I didn't want to I don't have access to a flight search database of all these flights. And so I'm actually using the LLM to generate my list of flights. It's like mock data, right, with an LLM. And that's where things get a little tricky. So I've got my chat client that I'm gonna be able to use to generate that list of flights. And then I also added this simple logger advisor, so I can log the actual things going back and forth with the LLM. Okay, then I've got my flight search service that's going to use the chat client. And here's where I have, this is like simulating our backend system that we have that actually can search flights.
Yeah.
So I'm going to take in as parameters, here, we'll put this on new lines for you so you can see what's going on. And I took some shortcuts, like I'm using local date time when really we want to zone date time and be able to know what the user's time zone is and all that kind of stuff. But okay, so when we search for flights, we need a departure, and this is just like a one-way flight search. So departure, arrival, we need the date time and the preferred airline. And then this is where I do that little trick of using the LLM for mock data. So I'm telling it, hey, create 10 example flights between and on date, and some of them should have connections with. So I'm giving my prompt, for how the LLM is gonna create this.
Right.
And then I'm also I just learned about this 2 days ago. Nice. The enable native structured output. And so when you're what I want to get back my data into this list of flight search results. And so this is this parameterized type reference because I've got a list parameterized with that. And then this enable native structured output is going to, if the LLM supports it, say you really must abide by this JSON schema when you return the result.
So by default, I guess Spring AI is doing best effort. We're trying to get the model to do this, and it usually will, but it doesn't always.
Yep.
Here we're saying there's a native feature, turn that on, and therefore it'll always will.
Yep.
For people who don't know, this is a hack.
Because of type erasure.
Type erasure, right? So I don't know. You can't. Yeah. This is no one else. You have a list of T at runtime. List only has if you get access to the list at runtime, there's no way with Java to ask it for its reflective, ask it reflectively for its generic parameter. It'll just say list. It doesn't know about flight search results. Yeah. And so what you have to do is you need some way of saying I want a list of T. The only way to at runtime keep that is to, if you have an instance variable type list, you can't see what the generic parameter is. But if you create class mylist, extends list of generic flight search results, and then create an instance of mylist, you can ask it for the generic parameter.
Yeah.
Which is weird. So it's baked into the hierarchy. That does work. It just doesn't work for instance variables.
Yeah.
So what we're doing here is we're creating an anonymous subclass of list of T.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Which is,
and that you don't have to put in that type parameter.
The diamond operator.
Yeah.
So that's but Spring knows how to use that to then ask to be able to say, okay, this person wants me to reflectively create a list of flight search results. Yeah. Which is
how we deal with the fun of
reification.
Reification. Yeah.
Which Java 1.5, 2005.
Yeah.
20 years of pain.
Okay, so that was my flight search service. Then I'm also going to have a user service that's going to look up a user profile. I'm not actually doing anything real here. I'm just simulating it. But we do have a way to get a user profile and set a preferred airline. Okay, so that's kind of my backend service. Now my MCP server. So I'm creating my MCP server. It needs my flight search service. It needs my user service. And then I've got my MCP tool. My MCP tool can search for one-way flights. It's going to return a list of flight search results. Same thing as that kind of backing data did. Then I've got my parameters. So I've got an MCP arg for the departure airport code, the arrival airport code, and the date to search for flights. And then here's the important thing with elicitations is that I'm also going to receive into this tool call the MCP sync request context. And that context is what gives me a handle so that then I can do the elicitation. So we, in this tool call, we're going to fetch the user profile. Again, just like fake way of doing that here. We would use security, Spring security, and be able to get the user profile based on that.
Yep.
Okay. Now here's the elicitation part. If the user profile doesn't have a preferred airline set, then we're going to elicit one. So we call context elicit, and then we pass it a class. And that class, in the elicitations, there's a way for it to define a schema of the data that you want to get back from the user elicitation. And so that's going to all be done automatically for us.
Kind of like structured input mapping.
Yep, exactly. And so then essentially we block here like this. And I didn't enable virtual threads, but you probably want to. But we're going to block here until we get the user response that comes back. In that user response, we can see, did they accept it? In elicitations, you can accept, decline, or cancel or something. And so we're going to see, did they accept it? And if they did, we're going to get the structured content. And the structured content contains the preferred airline. That was, if we look back up here, we've got the user profile. So that's what we're eliciting. It has this preferred airline. We've got the description on there. Okay, so then we set the preferred airline on the user profile, and then we go out to our flight search service and search for the flights. And now we if the user did provide their preferred airline, then all good. Okay, so that's my MCP server. I didn't have to do anything else to expose that as an MCP server. I just turned on the parameters, the properties there. Okay, so let's run that MCP server, and we'll see how that goes. There we go. And then looks good. We're running on port 8081. So let's go now over to my MCP inspector where we can debug this thing. I'm going to reconnect to that 8081/MCP through streamable HTTP. I can list the tools. We can see that there's a search flights tool. And now I can enter a departure airport code, say DEN, arrival code, SFO, and then a date, 2025-12-12, and then I'm going to run that tool. So remember, when I hit that run tool, it's going to do that elicitation. In the MCP inspector, that pops up this thing, and now I need to go in and put in my preferred airline and hit submit. So now that continues the tool call. And if we see an empty result, that means that I think my LLM, in my case, that light model, sometimes doesn't give me the data that I ask it for. So let's try that again. Couple times. Come on, give me some data.
Go computers.
Go computers. Oh, this is where the non-determinism of should be giving me some data. Let's go see what's going on here. So this is why I turned on login, so we can see. You can see this is the actual messages to the LLM, where it's like, here's the schema that you need to create some data from, and I bet that at some point, come on, give me some data. Oh, should we try the Pro model?
Sure, always.
It's I think it's gonna be Nova Pro. Let's try that. We'll see if a better model. So it was working like
5 minutes
ago. 5 minutes
ago.
ago, and then the LM decided to take a different path, I think. And let's see if let's try it again here. Okay, let's reconnect to our server. And let's try to just run our tool again. Okay, preferred inspector. Okay. Oh, that's the wrong model ID. Oh, I always get stuck on model IDs. Okay. Nova to Pro. Pro. I think it's Pro model ID. Light models are good for like simple stuff, but Nova 2 Lite, that's the one I tried. Nova 2 Sonic. Is Sonic the, I don't know what Sonic is.
It's a hedgehog, I'm pretty sure. If you do.
It's a hedgehog. Nova, okay, let's go back to the tried and true Nova Pro one. I don't know. This is always the hard part with these things is like finding the right model for the job that you're doing. And I probably should have just picked a better model out of the box here.
Computers.
Okay, let's try this again. Reconnect, run, United, submit. Let's see how this model does. It's taking longer. That's a good sign.
Yeah, much better.
Oh no, request timeout.
What? Oh, that's the worst kind.
I probably got somewhere. Just. Oh, okay. See, it generated data that time. Did it generate it in the right format?
Schema or something? Or
oh man, demo fail. I should probably not be using an LLM to generate my sample data.
This is all like the idea is that we'd have this in a database of all the things for us to fail.
Of course. Okay, I don't know. Let's go back to the one that did work at some point. I should just use Claude. The Claude models are
nifty.
Good. They're nifty. Okay, let's try this one more time. United. Give me some data. Oh my gosh. You know what? Actually, I think this was a MCP inspector bug actually. Let's try this again. Sometimes MCP inspector gets confused.
It did this to us last time too.
It did. I mean, it's JavaScript, so. Okay, come on. Let's see some data this time. Okay, my problem was, let's try this one again. Oh, you know what? Actually, I have Spring Dev Tools on this one. Why am I restarting my server?
I don't know.
Gosh.
You hate your own time.
I do. Okay, let's try this again with Nova Pro, so a better model. And
very good model.
If we get that timeout again, then the problem is actually I need to reload the MCP inspector.
Which is, it's running.
Taking longer. Let's see.
Don't
get some data.
Error.
No. Okay. Oh, let's try it. Reload. Connect.
Wait. Really?
Tools. List tools. Search flights. Done. SFO. 2025. 12. Okay, fingers crossed. If this doesn't work, we're moving on.
Well, I was gonna say you could just take the JSON that was generated.
Yeah,
and bind it to some job objects.
That's what I should have done. That would have been more deterministic, huh?
Yeah. Let's just do that. We can do that quick. Take the JSON, put it into a JSON file. We'll load it as a resource and bind it to a job object before the program starts.
Ooh, that'll be fun. Do we have time for this? Because there's another. I want to show the client side of this. But,
okay, let's do it.
But quick. I guess. Do you think we can do this quickly?
Is it? I mean, yeah. So we'll just do the same thing that the model would have done.
Okay. Okay, I've got my JSON.
Okay, create a file in your resources folder.
Okay.
Okay, flights or whatever. Okay, paste. Make sure it's valid JSON. Is that? Are you allowed to start a JSON stanza with just a?
I think so. With the array.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's good.
How do we bind that? Okay, so yeah. Okay, so now where's your program? Where's the constructor?
So here's my flight search service.
Yeah, so create a do at value and the constructor.
Okay, and we're not going to do the chat client anymore.
Oh,
because
right,
because we're going to just hard code it.
Sure. Okay. It doesn't need to be public.
Oh, right. Okay, then we're going to
at value
resource.
No, at value.
Oh, at value. Okay.
Enter. Parenthesis and then a quote class path : /flights.json / flights.json.
Like that.
Yep, and then after the last, there you go. Type in resource R, capital R. Okay, that's the type. Okay, Spring Framework 1. Yeah. There you go.
Core IO.
Yep. Okay. Perfect. And then space. Give it a variable name.
Okay.
Okay, and then in the constructor, you can say resource.get content as string. Content as a string, and do charset whatever.
Oh, how do we do that? Charset.
Yeah, there you go. That'll work.
Okay.
And then you'll throw an exception. So just declare throws exception on the constructor.
Okay.
I can hear Bruce Eccles.
Ringing. I think IntelliJ can just add that for me, right? Add it to method signature. Yep. There we go.
And now you've got a string.
Okay.
So flight search results service or flight search service is the name of the constructor.
Okay.
The constructor is not matching the service.
Oh. Right.
Okay. Now, the real question is, how do we bind that to using Jackson, right?
Yeah.
So inject the object mapper.
Okay.
In the constructor, just inject comma object mapper.
Mapper, that one.
O space OM. Okay. And then on the next line, do OM dot read value, I guess. Try that. Read value.
Read value. Oh, we're still in the old Jackson. Huh?
Yeah. So I have more familiarity with this than I do the other one. And then.
Okay. You think that we can now just take this to the list of.
You have to do their equivalent of a parameterized type reference. So look at the.
Is that this one? Or a different one?
They don't take parameter. Do another one, yeah. It's a type reference, I think. So try a new type reference of whatever. Same trick, yeah. There you go. Now do the same structure that we asked for.
Search.
It's a list of flight search results.
Oh, okay. We put in a list. Okay, and this is the same thing to work around that reification.
I think so.
Okay.
And then the result should be a list of, if you assign that to a variable.
Okay, and then we want to create our list.
Yeah.
Flights. We're going to, we can just set that here, right?
Yep.
List flights equals. Okay.
Does that look like it works? I mean, fingers crossed, right?
Oh, and we actually, it'll infer that there now that we're
so nice
doing that. Okay, and maybe we should log this.
Sure. Right. Make that private final. Nice. Okay, let's see if that works. I don't know.
Okay.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
And then
we're getting more deterministic here.
Right.
So okay, now let's just return flights, right?
Yeah, flights. There you go.
And then comment that out.
Fairly well check client.
Wow. You think this is going to work first try?
Whatever.
Okay. Oh, and let's see if our auto reload works.
Okay.
Restart.
File watcher doing the thing. There you go. 0.27.
Now we should have seen our flight somewhere. Say, oh, loaded 10 flights. Hey, dude, that was
pretty nice, huh?
Yeah, pretty nice.
Go team.
Okay, let's try it and see. Reconnect. Let me try to run Preferred Airline United. And do we see? Yes, we got our data.
Sweet nectar.
I don't know why I don't know what was going on with my LLM. It should have been.
It knew that we were live.
Yeah,
because I saw you do the demo right before we got on stream. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Okay, we've now got our flights. So we saw that elicitation.
Right.
So let me show you now how we do that elicitation, how we handle that on the client side.
Yeah.
And then that's it. Then we're done. Okay. So on the client side, so we've got our MCP server. Now we're going to have our agent, our AI agent. Our AI agent, we're going to pick our model. We're going to connect it to that MCP server that we just published. And this is just going to be a CLI one, but of course, you could do this with a REST endpoint, whatever, however you want to expose this thing and connect to it. So in our actual agent, just a command line application, we're going to use our chat client. We're going to set up some tools. I put in a date time tool so that we can say like, give me the search the flights for tomorrow or whatever, and then with the date time tool,
I love that AI is giving us command lines back. Like, not everything needs to be a damn web interface,
Right.
Like, just give me a CLI. Why not?
Okay, and then to connect to our MCP server, we inject our tool callback provider and then set that on our chat client.
That's the thing we use to point to the remote MCP service.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
From the client.
Yep. And then I'm just going to loop and allow the user to enter some input. I'm going to send the input up to the chat client as a prompt, right? And so then that's our like just basic chat client. But then we need to handle the elicitations. So here's where I get the like client side, the agent side of dealing with that elicitation. So I annotate this method with MCP elicitation. I tell it which MCP server that I want to apply these, handle these elicitations on. So that comes from this ID right there. So just for that one. Okay, so I get a elicit request, and then I can then handle that elicitation request. Right now, the client side doesn't support the auto schema stuff.
Right.
But there is a schema that comes along with that elicitation request. and it has a thing in it called properties. So I get the properties, and then I'm going to just iterate through the properties. I'm going to print out the description that was defined over on there was that user profile, right? So that description there comes over. And then we're going to just ask the user to answer basically the elicitation question, and then that elicitation gets sent back to the MCP server. And
So exciting.
So that's how we handle the elicitation, and that's it for our client side. So let's run this thing and see if it actually works. So I'm running my client side, and when we run this, we should connect to that MCP server, and then we'll be able to ask it some natural language questions. So when we did the MCP inspector, we there's no like LLM in MCP inspector, but now when we actually run our agent, then we can talk to an LLM and it'll decide when it wants to call those things. So I can say search for flights den to SFO tomorrow. And when I do that, it's going to make 2 tool calls to be able to handle that, because it needs to determine what tomorrow means. And then we'll see that it worked. But it didn't do my elicitation. The reason why it didn't is because my server was running, and I'd already, when I hit it through the MCP inspector, it already done the elicitation, which actually stored in memory. So let's try this again with let's see. Let's refresh that thing. I know.
The AI is too smart. I had this issue with the talk I did the other day. I was like, why isn't it working? Oh, it's cheating. It looked at its own notes. It was in the chat memory.
Yeah.
You and I have had issues with that too.
Yeah. Okay. So my MCP server is running. Now let's rerun our client. And when we rerun our client, we shouldn't have a preferred airline set. So now I can say search for flights den to SFO tomorrow. And when we do that, that's going to call the tool. Now we see the elicitation, and now I can set my preferred airline, and now it's going to continue on with that tool call. And there we go.
So good.
See our flight. So,
dude, I love this. I love this so much.
Yeah.
This is what you want, because you want human in the loop, right? You want to be able to ask questions from the service side back to the user, and then incorporate that in the final response. You want to build better responses iteratively and to accrete towards a final better outcome. So good. That's already in GA code.
This is Spring AI 1.1,
which came out weeks ago, right?
So all the elicitation support is there. Super cool new feature in MCP. And you can read more about it. And then I haven't posted my code yet, but I'm going to put it up on my GitHub.
Okay, and post it in the comments.
Yes.
You know what I'll probably do? I'll probably take this video, download it, cut out the faffing about, and just. Because the actual story, the actual from beginning to end is maybe a 20-minute thing. That was awesome. It's so awesome, man. I love elicitations. That's awesome.
So this is going to be on my GitHub, github.com, James Ward, and then Spring AI MCP elicitation demo.
Yeah.
So I'll get that up there shortly.
Thanks, everybody.
I'll put that in the comments. Okay,
comments. Hey, hi, everybody.
So the URL for code will be github.com/James Ward/ that one.
They wanted to see us in our suits still.
Oh man, we should have kept our seats on.
I know. Yeah, he was like, you couldn't. They can't see it anyway. It's the Linux webcam. This is great. All right, everybody. Bye. Have a happy holiday. See you later. You wish that worked. You wish you could end press with a touch on the screen. Does it do Touch ID?
Outro? Let's do an outro.
Oh yeah. I don't know. Whatever. We don't have one. Does it do